This video covers the IGCSE Biology Objective 8.4.3 on the 2025 CAIE syllabus to explain why some parts of a plant may act as a source and a sink at different times. So let's talk about the fact that at some points in the year, plants will experience reduced activity. So for example, we can take a look at this baobab tree. Baobab trees live in regions where there is a wet season and a dry season, and we can see a physical difference in the actual tree itself. So many plants will have a time of year where they are waiting for some type of harsh condition to end when the plant itself is not doing photosynthesis. So in this example of the baobab tree, the harsh condition is the dry season. And what happens is the tree will survive by using the stored carbohydrates, which are in this case are stored in the roots and the trunk of the tree. Once the wet season starts, then the plant will utilize the stored carbohydrates to produce leaves, and then it can start photosynthesizing and storing carbohydrates again in preparation for the next dry season. The other example that you need to know is a potato plant. So let's take a look at the seasonal growth of a potato. So we typically have three areas when we're talking about a potato plant. Typically we have the summer season. This is when the plant is growing and doing lots of photosynthesis and storing lots of carbohydrates in its stem. We have the winter where the green part of the plant has been removed in order to save energy, so the plant is not doing photosynthesis. It's trying to survive those harsh conditions, in this case a colder season. And then we have the spring where new growth will happen from the actual potato portion of the plant itself, and then it will grow back into the plant that has the green leaves that's doing photosynthesis again. And so this is just a cycle that potato plants go through. And so at different parts of the year, depending on the season, the potato will grow in different ways. So now let's talk about how this relates to sources and sinks. So in the summertime, when the plant is doing lots of photosynthesis, therefore storing lots of carbohydrates, so in the summertime, glucose is made by photosynthesis in the leaves. So in this case, the leaves will be our source. Sucrose gets translocated in the phloem, and starch is going to be stored in the root or stem tubers, depending on the type of potato plant. And so that area, the storage area, is going to be the sink. So the leaves are the source, and in this case, the root tubers are the sink. Now let's see what happens in the springtime when the plant is going to start to grow after the harsh conditions of winter. So in winter, there's not much water and sunlight. So now springtime, we're going to have warmth, we're going to have water, and that will trigger the enzyme activity in that potato to start to now do something different. So the stored starch will get converted to sucrose, and then it's going to be translocated. So now our tuber becomes the source, and the phloem in the tuber is going to translocate the sucrose to buds, and therefore glucose will be used for growth of stem, roots, leaves, all of those bits that actually make up the plant. And now those portions become the sink. Once the potato plant starts to be full on into summer and doing lots of photosynthesis, we're back to the leaves being the source and the tuber being the sink. So depending on the season, different types of plants may have different structures that can act both as a source and a sink.